Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, I'm on the test server here, able to look at the patch before you guys get it, which is due this week in literally a couple of days. Now, I've done a separate video where I talked about all of the new champions that are dropping, and honestly, some of them are kind of nuts. You got like Kale's dad sitting here, looking pretty sick in terms of his mythical form. There's a couple of new legendaries. There's a new rare. I'll go through that in another video. It probably comes out at the same time as this one, so I will link it at the end. But there is some new mechanics that we've not spoken about yet, and there's also some stuff which we already know about that we get to try out. So I guess the first thing we're going to go into here is quite a contentious area, okay? I've been for it so far, and a lot of people are super against it, which is fair. Like, if people don't like it, they don't like it. That's up to them. So basically, we've got this new champion, Highmother Maud, who's now in the game, or certainly on the test server. She will be in everybody's game soon. And we didn't see her stats, actually. So she's got 100 base speed. Let me just see if that's the same. Do I have a copy of her on the test server? No, I don't normally. It's 105 base speed when she's fully maxed. 1,200 defense, 20,800 HP. And honestly, I think her kit is very, very good. Like, so whether you can get her or not early is a question. Some people are saying you definitely wouldn't use her once you can get her. I think that's false. Like, I use my Doom Priest now on my Kraken account, certainly until I got to Hanorach. And this is basically Doom Priest with a load more cool utility. So how people can say she will be useless is honestly a joke. But in terms of whether you like the system or not, well, we're going to try it out. So basically what happens here is you can do 10 of these chests a week. Yeah, limit of 10 per week. And from those chests, you can get a selection of different stuff. Some things are pretty trash. Potions. Yeah, well, it depends what level you are, honestly. But anyway, potions are very accessible. And we don't really want potions out of these things. Brews, complete trash. 3-star chickens, kind of trash. 4 and 5-star chickens, I think from a normal player, certainly 5-star are high value. 4-star, maybe not. 5-star, pretty high value. A feast is really high value. Like, that's really good. Obviously, legendary tomes, I like it as well. There's a bunch of crap stuff. There's a bunch of good stuff. And then you get between 1 and 3 fragments of her per chest if you get her. And obviously, we need 100 fragments. So you're going to have to find, let's call it 50 chests worth of her over the course of however long you're doing it. I'm going to pull 10 now, which is the most I can do. So obviously, I'm on a reset. Resets every Monday. And let's see how many we get. I don't have the numbers yet. Saf will get the numbers for us once we get it on the live server. I can't do anything with the test server. But for example, Bovos Sharphorn here. How do I get his fragments out? How do we get people's fragments out? He's not available. Bildrix is available. I wonder why he's not available yet. He was just a fusion dude. I wonder if I summon the first copy of him, if then the other fragments become available. Let's have a look. I'm only on the test server, so I'm not wasting my points and all that type of stuff. I've got him obviously saved on my main account right now, so it just duplicates my main account. Let me just find him quick. 25, 25. No, for some reason, he's not available, which is weird to me. So I understand that some champions are not available, like this guy here. I'm farming him through the Doom Tower. You cannot get fragments out of this guy. But past fusions or fragments all seem to be available. There must be some sort of time thing that goes by. Let's see if we've got any info in here. This is all old info. There's nothing new about this as far as I'm aware. No, so I'm guessing there must be some sort of time delay that goes on before you're allowed to exchange, potentially. So that someone can't just save the fragments from like the current fusion and just completely convert them right now, maybe? Don't know. Anyway, exchange all of these. We get 17 fragments for Vildrax here, which is 3 chests worth. I'll keep going. I'll exchange the cow into fragments, which would give me, out of those 2 champions, I've now got 18 chests worth of stuff. Now, I know that some people are like, I'd rather still just collect the fragments of the champions that we were getting and get that champion. I agree, by the way. I think that's the better system. I think that's the way they should have gone. 100%. I totally agree with that. But compared to where we are now, where they never really... I think in 4 years that I played the games, they've done like 2 events where you could get past fragments. And it was still shard pulling events and stuff. It wasn't like I'll just go and get these fragments. So this feels way better than what we had. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying it's what I would have done. It's way better than what we had. So let's check out here. If we open up 10, just pops them all. Out of 10, I got 2 fragments. So based on that, if I had enough to do it, I would have to pop 50 weeks worth. Basically a year to get this chick. I agree, super long. And I might have just got good RNG, I might have just got bad RNG. Likely I got bad, honestly. But some of the stuff, we can see brews popping up a lot. Couple of barrels, actually good. 5-star chicken. It's the smallest sample size in the world, so we don't know if we don't know anything yet. Honestly, we don't. But based on only seeing 2 fragments there, I can understand now the feels bad moment popping up. Because if I literally exchange everything I've got sitting over, I'd need to see 500 in this chest. Bear in mind, I've got a fair amount, but I am also someone who completes most fusions, right? So a lot of people that don't complete or get like 50 or 60 fragments, I'd say this is good, so you at least get some stuff. Yeah, you get some stuff. Whereas right now, you get no stuff. You're just sitting there with a bunch of half-finished fusions. You see here, Zinodra is not available to change up yet. I didn't finish Zinodra. I was doing too much free-to-play work. But Zinodra is not available. So I think it must be some sort of time limit on it as to when you can do it. How many am I up to now? So far, I'm up to about 100 chests from like my stash. So yeah, I mean, maybe the pessimists among us, which was a lot, are right. Because I've got like, if I burn all of mine, pretty much, I've got the equivalent of 128 chests. So I'm probably only maybe I'm only a quarter of the way there. So maybe with even all of mine, I'm only a quarter of the way there. I don't know. We'll have to see the maths of it. We'll have to see the maths of it. Right now, my positive feeling is switched. And all the doubters are right, which I hate. Raid, just stop it. Stop letting all the doubters be right every time. If you let them be right every time, you make me look like a dick. Anyway, there you go. So that system, not great. Well, let's be clear. That system, I just got a barrel, 5-star chicken, like that side of it for the average player, the one who doesn't complete all of these fragments and stuff, I think that's a win, okay? But for someone who wants that champion Highmother Maud, that doesn't feel like a win. Anyway, let's get on to the next one. Now, this is quite a big change and actually a good change so far. This good change, it's a decent change. So Altar of Souls, we've now got updated drop rates. So if you remember, I did a video early in the new year, and I said we had a meeting with the dev team from Raid. Yeah, we had 2 of the developers in the team, some quite senior members of the Raid team. Okay, and as a content creator group, we went through a load of things which we thought could be improved. They were quite defensive in their stance, I would say, but ultimately we had a conversation. We shared some of our things we thought could be better. They shared some stuff which was coming anyway. And then one of the things which we really tried to hammer home was that the blessing system is really flawed. Like, it's incredibly difficult to get a champion that you want. Wishlist being complete trash. It's incredibly difficult to get epics and legendaries. The rates are too low. And, you know, there's no point in farming Iron Twins because the drop rate's super low. Okay. So they're like the main things that we spoke about. Now, they've not changed Iron Twins, which I think, Raid, that would be a serious win for you. Massively upscale the drop rate. Massively. Have a chance to get like an immortal soulstone out of there. Like, have a chance to get whole soulstones from a run instead of just the dust. You could massively transform how people feel about it and maybe tweak the boss mechanics a bit so that it's not just the Geo show, honestly. Like, you need to change it up. It's not good. It's not good content right now. Anyway, what they've done here is they have adapted the chances to get legendary souls. So let's just see. I've got a screenshot here quickly. Yeah, this is what's currently live. So we've got 70% chance to get an epic. This is default summoning rates. Rare is obviously very high. 70, 20, 10 versus, this is from an Eternal, the big boy ones, 60, 30, 10. So basically they've upped the Eternal Soulstone rate from 20% to 30%. 10% more likely to get a legendary from an Eternal. Let's just see what the bottom stats look like. And then it's gone from 80% 5-star, 20% 6-star, 75-25. So more chance of a legendary by 10%, and then a 5% higher chance of it being a 6-star. So slightly improved. Let's look at the lower end, because that's what most of us are doing here. The Mortal Soulstones, 7.5% chance in the updated version versus 6%. So it's all gone up a bit, which is positive. It's not amazingly different, but it is better, right? So across the board, higher chance to get legendaries now and a better chance to get higher drop rates on the big ones. And then they've also adapted the wishlist now to have an 8 times chance instead of a 2 times. This is something I've been talking about, but I've got to be honest with this. Like, I mean, 8 times. Let's say you're trying to get a specific legendary and you only own 10. You own 10 legendaries out of the 140 odd now that there are in the game, right? So the chance of you getting one is low. This is the equivalent of, instead of there being 140, they basically throw in more of your legendaries in the pool. So it's like, you can imagine a gumball machine. It's like you've now got a whole bunch more of your specific ones in the pool. So if you've got 8 more of each of these 3 legendaries in there, so say that's adding 24 more into the gumball machine when there's 140 already in there. You know, that's now 24 out of 164. What's that, like maybe a 15% chance? If you pull a legendary, you get your one. I don't know if my maths are good there or not. Let me just check. 24, 60. What am I doing wrong? That means it's an 80% odd chance that you won't get it. I don't know. I'm doing my maths badly there. Okay, I think I've done it right. I think it's 15%. I think it's 15% chance, roughly, that you would get your one if those numbers stack up, like 140 odd legendaries, somewhere like that. So it's massively better. Yeah, it's massively better. And I think that's actually going to make quite a big difference for epics and legendaries now, in terms of if you get a legendary and they're on your wish list, you should get them. I feel like it could have gone higher even, because, you know, I think about my free-to-play. I'm so desperate for this dude on the free-to-play in a Soulstone. You know, it's the only legendary I'm going to own probably, and just feels bad. Everything you pull in is not your champion. The more advanced your account is, the better this is, because you've got more chance of pulling something that you actually own. But, you know, souls make a big difference for accounts. They really do. They're massively empowering your account. So the changes are definitely in the right direction. Now, we do have the updated blessings and that in here as well. So I guess one thing we haven't looked at is stats. Every blessing, let's find a 6-star dude. Okay. Every blessing is going to give, this is at 6-star. This is legendary champion. 15 speed, 75 accuracy, 75 resistance, 38% crit damage. All of these stats on every single blessing. There's some pluses and some minuses here. So the plus is, you don't have to worry about which blessing you're picking by stat. So on the website, we have actually got to do a whole bunch of changes for blessings, because sometimes we chose a blessing. Let's say you've got a defense-based champion. Well, we chose a defense-based blessing sometimes. Sometimes we chose a blessing for specifically a bomb champion because it had accuracy and attack on it and speed. Yeah, so we were thinking stats more so than the actual active effect. Now, giving you all of the stats is kind of nutty. There's some champions where you don't want the accuracy. Some champions you're like, I don't want to land my stuff. I just want to do my damage. So in some ways it's going to be a negative, but in most situations, just gaining more stats across the board is a positive for players. But the gap does again grow quite significantly between, you know, the super Krakens that have got tons of 6-stars and the average player that does not, because it's just very hard to get them. Look, you know me, I don't buy that many Soulstones, but I bought some packs. I got a bunch of 5-stars. I've earned some 5-stars through missions and stuff that they've done, but generally, I'm probably around 2 or 3 stars. And a change I wish they had done, honestly, is I wish that they had changed the cost of, you know, the 3-star to 4-star, the 4-star to 5-star. It's extremely high, even for people that actively play the game. So anyone who's 3-star for me, like, There's just no way, unless I just save and save and save. There's no way I'm pushing to 4 stars and stuff. And that's for someone who plays actively, you know. So there's some things which I still wish that they had changed. They have got the updated blessings in here now, so you know, it's all stuff that I've spoken about before. Where's some of the new ones? Like the emergency heal, I think it's quite cool actually. When you heal a champion, a shield buff expires. So heals his champion whenever a shield expires. That's quite a cool one for a rare one. What else did they change? Anyway, I've done a whole video on this. Lethal dose is now updated. Could be interesting on certain niche champions that just hit out a ton of poisons. Heaven Cast has been updated. Not sure that I love the change, honestly. But yeah, there's some cool ones. Anyway, we're going to have to rethink blessings, I think, across the board. Polymorph has changed. I'm going to have to do some actual testing on this one to see whether the change is now good, because the sheep is still out there. It's just how the interaction actually works with the kind of like sheep and the attacker. It might be that sheep becomes less meta in arena because of this change. I don't think it's going to be massively changing it. The kind of like the arena meta, honestly, I don't think it's enough of a change to really get rid of the sheep. But if it does, it means that debuffers are back on the table, which is what we want. So we've got some diversity in arena. So yeah, a bunch of stuff changed on the blessings. So a real positive, I think, for the game, just definitely needed. We've got super raids as a permanent feature from this patch. Permanent feature in dungeons. In all dungeons, is it? All dungeons, I think. Is it in Minotaur? Please be in Minotaur as well. All right. Why not? Why didn't you put it there? Why not? Oh, you've let yourself down on that one. What a mistake. Not in the potion keeps. Why not? Why not just put them everywhere in dungeons? Come on. Why? That's so silly. That's so silly. Anyway, all of this group from Ice Golem Bright have now got super raids, and they forgot to put them in the left-hand side ones. I think Doom Tower, they're just always on anyway, aren't they? I think they were always on anyway. Faction Wars are always on anyway as well, right? If you've done it. Yeah. So again, it's like yin and yang. The people that are positive in the world will be like, at least we've got it. The people that are negative will be like, why didn't they do it properly? So we always like to give people that option in Raid Shadow Legends. The developers are like, just want to make sure we get the angry people as angry as possible when we do stuff. The only other thing other than the new champions then is faction unity skills. And I go through this on the other video in some detail, but we do have a champion, the first of his kind, Acelin the Stalwart, that has got a unity skill faction ability. We're going to see more champions added to the game with this. So first thing is their aura gets like a double bubble prize. This one's got defense, and then the unity thing is you're also going to get HP. So double reward auras, okay? But then they've got abilities, and they can be passive or active skills, where the more faction allies you get, so it has to be other Bannerlord champions coming in, the more that you get, the more OP the skills get. This is the first one of its kind. As I say, I go through him in detail on the other video, but freaking heck, he's absolutely bonkers. And so are some of the other champions. So I guess with that note, don't forget, there will be a video dropping at the same time. I was like, hold on a minute, did I miss one? There will be a video dropping right now with the new champions discussed. There's some absolutely crazy ones in there, I've got to say it. Go and check that out if you haven't already. Sub to the channel if you like the content, and I'll catch you soon.